I'm back on my Vampire Diaries grind. I feel like the Vampire Diaries is like the topic of conversation, like every other video. And I'm always like, oh, I've started watching it again. It's because like I watch a couple episodes for like a week and then I get a bit bored, so then I drop off. But now, because it's autumn, it feels really good, it feels really natural for this time of year. Autumn last year was such a vibe, first of all. It was like the sort of like the first autumn that I started watching the Vampire Diaries, and I would watch it while eating my dinner, and it would just like be dark outside and I would be eating my food and watching this show and just vibing. It was also, this time last year was just so full of hope. Like, I thought I was going to get a job, no problem. Going into autumn now, whoa. I am trying to be optimistic, but wow. But you know, the good thing about this job search is that it is making me more bold and more delulu and more just, I probably won't get it, so there's no harm in applying, right? Like last year and going into this year, I was kind of playing it safe a bit. I had made a plan of what I wanted and how I wanted to figure things out. I only applied to positions that I thought would hire me or that I thought I had like experience for. And now I'm just applying to positions that like require experience that maybe I don't have or are not so close to home. And I've just got this somewhat freeing attitude of, well, the worst thing they're going to do is reject me, so who cares? And I'm so used to rejections right now. So anyways, back to Vampire Diaries. I miss Julian. It's been like, sorry, spoilers. It's been like an episode or a bit after Julian's departure, I guess. I miss him so much. Here's the thing with me. I hate all villains, but I also love most of them as well. Here's the thing. A good villain, like, you're gonna hate anyway, you're gonna dislike because they are the villain of the show. Like, it just makes sense that you don't like them. But there's a difference between, like, hating them but, like, loving them and then just pure hating them. I hated Julian, but I also loved him. A good villain, in my opinion, is playful, is fun. They're a bit arrogant or they're a bit cocky, but they have aura, they have personality, you know? What I hate and who I think are the worst villains, in my opinion, are hunters. Like any kind of supernatural hunter, especially in the Vampire Diaries, as a villain, or even just a character. But let's be honest, they do pose a threat to most of the main characters on the show and tend to cause problems for that reason. So they are, they tend to be villains. They're just so boring. Like, they're always so cold. They have one stern facial expression and that is it. They're just so boring with no aura. They give me nothing. I don't relate or feel any strong emotions other than I'm over it. Even if I find out about their sad origin story, I'm still just like bored. They're not interesting to me. I can only think of one hunter that turned out to be a villain who I absolutely loved and had aura. And again, spoiler alert for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I absolutely adored Faith, who was a hunter and who did turn into a villain of the show, and who was so interesting and funny and had aura and was so just fun and had personality and didn't have like the one stern, cold facial expression and took things too seriously. I obviously love Buffy too, but she's not the villain, you know what I mean? She's obviously the main character of the show. She's sort of like the hero of the story. So yeah, I'm kind of mad because even though I didn't like Julian and the Heretics, I also still did love them in a way, if that makes sense. Like, he was still a fun villain. He had aura and energy and he was fun. And yeah, like, I really liked him as a villain, and now I've just got this huntress, and to be honest, I'm not feeling it, guys. But yeah, that is where I'm at in Vampire Diaries, if anyone in the future cares at all. Also, just been weirdly feeling like nostalgic, which I never really am, to be honest with you. But I've been thinking a lot about college in particular, when I was at college, and just thinking about like, wow, like I had it kind of good and I went to a really good college and I had really good teachers for the most part and I really enjoyed it and I was in a really good environment and I wish I had appreciated that more at the time. That being said, there was one teacher, lecturer that I did not like. We as a class just collectively did not like this person. Which was funny as well, now I'm thinking about it, is that a small group of us, like 4 of us, got picked to be in like a portion of the interviews when they were hiring like a new lecturer. So we essentially got to not pick, but we had a say in it, kind of thing. And I was obviously one of those like 4 students who got to sit in some of the interviews. We basically had like mock lessons basically by these interviewees, and we at the end like got to give feedback about like how we thought each of them did. We ended up hiring, or they ended up hiring, this particular teacher who we thought was okay and who we thought was like, you know, nice and stuff. I don't know, he was I don't use this word lightly, but he like low-key gaslit us. I have memories of him, first of all, he would just say things and then do like say the complete opposite like 10 seconds later, and it was almost like you had to go back and be like, okay, did he really say the first thing or was I just imagining it? But then it happened so often that you were like, oh no, it's probably just him being weird. Like, I remember one time I was doing work. We worked mostly on computers, and we were allowed to listen to music if we wanted to, as long as we were doing our work and as long as it was like with earphones and we weren't disturbing anyone. And one time he like came around and he tapped me on the shoulder and he was like, oh hey Molly, I'm gonna make an announcement to the class soon, so like just take out one earbud, you don't have to take out both, but just take out one so I know you're listening. And I was like, yeah, no, sure, like that's fine, of course. He basically called the whole class to like be quiet and listen to him, so of course I paused my music and just took out one earbud. And then he looked at me and he was like, Molly, can you take out both your earbuds please? And I was like, yeah, sure, but like don't tell me I can just take out one and then tell me I have to take out both like 2 seconds later. Anyways, another time he had just like set us out to do like, you know, a random task or whatever in class one time, and he was like, hey, if you guys need any help then just let me know, like we were in groups in our class kind of thing, and he was like, just cool, if you need help and I'll try and help you in any way that I can. And these group of boys in my class called him over, and I listened to their conversation. They basically were really stuck on something and they just asked him for help, and he literally turned around and said to them, okay, all you're giving me is problems right now and I'm looking for solutions. Like, you're the teacher, you're meant to be helping us and supporting us, and you literally said that we could come to you for help, and now you're just telling them basically to work it out themselves. Like, I don't know, it was really weird. And the last example that I can remember is when it was towards the end of the year, like our final projects, and we were thinking about like starting dissertations or whatever. Not real dissertations because we were still in college at the time, but they called it a dissertation. And we basically had to pick a topic of what we had previously studied and kind of think of a question around that topic and write a study about it and stuff like that. So like a mini pre-university dissertation, I guess. And he set it off at the beginning of this session. He basically was like, okay, like we're thinking about dissertations subjects now, so just go off to the library, have a think, have a brainstorm, like come up with ideas. I'm not looking for anything solid, don't worry, but just come up with ideas and stuff like that. He came back to us after an hour, and it was like the end of the day, and he was like, okay, I want each of you to like discuss your ideas with me, and then I'll let you go home as soon as I know that you've got like a rough idea kind of thing. And every person he spoke to and got to, like every student, we told him our ideas, and he would always be like, okay, but I need something more solid, like this is just an idea right now, like I need you to have like a bigger plan in your head, like I need you to have like a solid knowing of what you're going to do. And we were just sat there like, you literally told us that we only had to think of ideas, like the hell is going on right now? And I think me and my friend, again, like we told him our ideas and we had pretty solid ideas. We even had like a few example questions. Again, we hadn't got it like solid or anything because he told us we didn't have to. And it was literally the first session, but again, he was like, to both of us, he was like, okay, well, I need something more solid. And we were just sat there like, I'm sorry, what is going on? That was second year. First year I had a really good lecturer. I didn't appreciate how good he was at the time and how not annoying he was compared to that one we had second year, but hey. But I guess I've just been reflecting and almost like wondering what I've achieved, I guess, because I'm a year out of university now, and I just have moments where it hits me that I am still unemployed. And then I have another moment where I'm like, is my inner child or my inner teenager disappointed in me? Because I really did not think things would turn out like this. And although I am trying my best to remain positive and make good decisions, from a stranger looking in, the so-called state of my life would suggest that maybe I am a bit of a failure or a bit of a loser right now. And I wanted all these things when I was young, and I still want them now, but they are obviously taking a longer time to come than I had first thought they would, which I guess is quite normal. I think maybe even though having dreams and standards is great when we're young, we are perhaps a little naive, if not a lot. So when I was young, I kind of just thought all of these things would just happen instantly for me. I guess I didn't understand time frames or just things not working out on the concept of good things taking time, and just the fact that sometimes life is a bit shit and things never really go the way you want them to. And I think I have grown a lot this year. I've stayed consistent and persistent, and I've tried and tried. I'm still trying. I'm also just still taking care of myself, which sounds like a little thing, but I actually think it's quite a big thing, especially when life gets you down and your mental health takes a big hit. Taking the time to still take care of yourself and have self-love and compassion for yourself is a big achievement, and I'm very proud of myself for keeping it up, even though some days are quite hard and harder than others. I think also it's just hard to judge how far you've come if you're still in the same environment with the same results. I think one way to judge could be how you react to certain situations differently. For example, I'm really trying, and I would say I'm succeeding in being more present and in my body, and I try to be a lot more kinder to myself or acknowledge my feelings a lot more. But even then, those so-called simple things can still be so hard, and they can get you down. The whole reason why we dissociate is because we're not happy with our life, right? Or, we're struggling with how we're feeling or something like that. So being more present, even though it is a really good thing that we should all be trying to do, it can suck when you're more present and you notice a lot more things, or you're feeling a lot more things, and you just have to sit with the negativity sometimes. And you have to sit with these feelings sometimes, and you just have to accept where you are, which can get you down. So I've currently been watching Modern Family, and I never thought I would like the show, but it is so funny. It makes me laugh so much, and it honestly is sometimes like the only thing that keeps me sane, apart from Vampire Diaries. I feel like Vampire Diaries is like for my inner teenager, also just current me. I really love it so much, and it's drama and it's like, ooh, what's gonna happen? But Modern Family is just those days where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need some relief, I need some laughter, I need to smile, I need just like fun in my life. And I think it's just so important to have a show or something that makes you smile or laugh during this time of trying to heal and trying to better your life, because it can be a drag sometimes. And we need a bit of laughter and little bit of ease. So I am really thankful for that show and just things that make the day a little easier and a little lighter and a little, like, hey, you laughed today, or you had a good moment today, or feeling alright, even if the rest was just really bad and really hard and you didn't know if you could get through it, but you did. And then, you smiled or you laughed. And I really enjoy that show. It's funny, I see myself in both sisters. I am an older sister though, so I guess I'm like Haley. I don't ever recall being that mean to my little sister though, or my little brother. I keep seeing things on TikTok where it's like, oh, nothing can hurt me, like I have an older sister, or like, oh, having an older sister is like, you know, the worst because you think that like every woman is a criminal or whatever, like a violent criminal. And I'm like, I don't think I was that bad, but maybe I was and I just blocked it out. I don't know, I don't remember ever bullying my siblings or anything. But then there's also that joke about like the youngest sister or like the middle sister being absolutely crazy, which is what my sister is in a good way. I love her to pieces, but she's very crazy. But yeah, I don't. Some of the stuff that Haley says to Alex, I'm like, jeez, like that's horrible. And I don't. I hope I wasn't ever that mean to my little sister. And I really like. I sometimes I'm racking my brains, like, oh my gosh, did I ever say anything like that to my sister? I hope I didn't. Like, that's crazy. I love Phil. Phil is so great. He's such a good dad. There's just like some odd moments, like the stuff he says to Claire sometimes. Claire handles Phil so well. Like she has to bite her tongue so much sometimes. Some of the stuff that Phil says about Claire or to Claire, I couldn't hold my tongue. I would be like, babe, sit down. I need to explain why that is wrong and you can't say that. But I think all in all, he's just like a happy guy. He's sometimes, honestly, watching him interact with his daughters sometimes just like heals my inner child. I did not enjoy that sort of like weird side plot with him like fancying Gloria or whatever. Again, if I was Claire, I just could not do that. I would have to sit him down and be like, okay, you need to stop being weird around Gloria. You need to stop staring at Gloria. Like, you just need to stop being weird. Okay, I'm also your wife, it's very disrespectful. But yeah, I'm glad they kind of, I don't know, I'm on like season 3 now, season 4. So I'm definitely on season 3. So they've kind of done away with that plot line, I guess. Sometimes they mention it in odd episodes, but it's not like as a thing, which I'm glad about. Mitch and Cam I love, Lily I love, Jay and Gloria are amazing. Manny, I love Manny, I see myself in Manny a lot, but sometimes he needs to just relax and mind his own business. Like, that kid is just too grown up. He needs to just relax. The whole thing, there was an episode where Luke started a fire and then he put it out, but the teacher came in only when he put it out, and Luke basically got a medal for putting out this fire. And Manny was like, was there when he started the fire, and Manny was like, you have to take this medal back, like you have to be honest, you have to admit that you were the one who started the fire. And he made such a big deal about it, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think it's such a bad thing. Like, yes, he was irresponsible, yes, he started the fire, but you know what, he also put it out, so technically he did do the right thing. And he did do the good thing, and like he would, you know, he could have just panicked or left it or something, but he did put it out, so technically, like, I don't know, I'm seeing like a lot of parallels between Luke and Manny and Stefan and Damon. Don't get me wrong, I love Damon, but if I was Stefan, I'd just have to step away sometimes. Same with Manny, I'm like, Manny just needs to like protect his peace, mind his own business, let Luke be Luke, and like it will somehow, like, he'll learn his lesson eventually, you know what I mean? Whereas if you're involved with the person, you're more likely going to be taken down with them. In the sense that, like, Stefan mostly gets hurt because he's trying to protect and or get Damon out of a mess that Damon's created and has nothing to do with Stefan. Which I get, because, like, both a family, both want to be friends or protect or try and teach the person they love. You know, that's not cool, and, like, you need to do the right thing. But I think sometimes just letting the person F up and really feel the consequences of their actions is way more powerful than just like constantly trying to clean up after them and be there for them. So yeah, wow, parallels that I didn't even know, like didn't even realise until I was saying them out loud. But yeah, I think Stefan and Manny need to protect their peace, and I think Damon and Luke need to, don't get me wrong, they're fun. Damon is still my favourite character. Damon and Bonnie are my favourite characters. So glad they're besties now. But Damon does still really irritate. I feel like Bonnie is the only character in the Vampire Diaries that hasn't annoyed me. Matt, right now, doesn't even annoy me for any particular... Actually, no, he does annoy me for a particular reason. I feel like he gets mad at everyone for no reason. Like, he's constantly, especially in the later seasons when he's like the singular police chief in town, he is so annoyed and angry at everyone for no reason. Or he'll blame like Bonnie or Caroline for something that is out of their power, or for something that is not their fault. And it's like, seriously, get it together, babe. I get why he stays, and I get why he like wants, he wants to protect the town that he loves so much. But if like these things make you that angry and these things irritate you that much, just leave. Okay, Babs, just leave. Maybe let Tyler protect the town for a bit. Tyler's less annoying than you are. But yeah, that's my thoughts and feelings right now about everything. Yeah, I'm trying to remain positive, I'm trying to be hopeful, I'm enjoying my shows, and then crashing out, and then trying to enjoy my shows again. I still can't believe that I managed to make a parallel between Manny and Stefan, but there we go. My brain is just so amazing. So on that note, I will leave you, and I will yap to you soon, maybe. Bye.